Episode number 332. Milady, finding a thoughts betrayed, dug her nails into a flesh to subdue every emotion that might give to a face any expression except agony. Lord de Winter continued. The officer, who commands you in my absence you have already seen, and therefore know him. He knows how, as you must have observed, to obey an order, for you did not, I am sure, come from Portsmouth without endeavoring to make him speak. What do you say of him? Could a statue of marble have been more impassive, and more mute? You have already tried the power of your seductions upon many men, and unfortunately you have always succeeded, but I give you leave to try them upon this one. Pardieu. If you succeed with him, I pronounce you the demon himself. He went towards the door, and opened it hastily. Call Mr. Felton, said he. Wait a minute longer, and I will introduce him to you. There followed between these two personages a strange silence, during which the sound of a slow and regular step was heard approaching. Shortly a human form appeared in the shade of the corridor, and the young lieutenant, with whom we are already acquainted, stopped at the threshold to receive the orders of the Baron. Come in, my dear John, said Lord de Winter. Come in, and shut the door. The young officer entered. Now, said the Baron, look at this woman. She's young, she's beautiful, she possesses all earthly seductions. Well, she's a monster, who, at 25 years of age, has been guilty of as many crimes as you could read of in a year in the archives of our tribunals. Her voice prejudices yours in her favor, her beauty serves as a bait to her victims, her body even pays what she promises. I must do that justice. She will try to seduce you, perhaps she will try to kill you. I have extricated you from misery, Felton. I have caused you to be named lieutenant. I once saved your life, you know on what occasion. I am for you not only a protector, but a friend, not only a benefactor, but a father. This woman has come back again into England for the purpose of conspiring against my life. I hold this serpent in my hands. Well, I call you, and say to you, friend Felton, John, my child, guard me, and more particularly guard yourself, against this woman. Swear, by your hopes of salvation, to keep her safely for the chastisement she has merited. John Felton, I trust your word. John Felton, I put faith in your loyalty. My lord, said the young officer, summoning to his mild countenance all the hatred he could find in his heart. My lord, I swear all shall be done as you desire. Milady received this look like a resigned victim. It was impossible to imagine a more submissive or a more mild expression than that which prevailed on her beautiful countenance. Lord de Winter himself could scarcely recognize the tigress who, a minute before, prepared apparently for a fight. She's not to leave this chamber, understand, John? Continued the Baron. She's to correspond with nobody. She's to speak to no one but you, if you will do us the honor to address a word to her.